Hello, hello. I always feel like this little bit here at the beginning is like tap the microphone. Is it on? Can you guys hear me? How's everyone doing tonight? Shows me that there's a couple of you here, which is great. Welcome here. Hello, Froxus. I am live, and it's very fitting as we talk about Anne of Windy Poplars that it is very windy outside my window, so lots of wind going on. Hello, Jane. How are you guys doing tonight? Hi, Sarah. As I was waiting for the time to come, I just barely finished reading Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats, which kind of feels fitting because Maud is definitely a cat person. Lots of mentions of cats in her books, not nearly so many mentions of dogs. Hey, Lindy, glad you could make it. If you guys saw my April reading wrap up, this is definitely not one of my favorite Anne books, other than there's like this small section. I'm trying to figure out how many pages here. There's this small section in the middle where I love to see. But overall, not as many tabs as a lot of the other Anne books. I am curious to know off the bat, the formatting of this one is mainly told in letters. Did that formatting work for you in this book? Did you find that it was made it a better read than the other Anne books? Do you feel like it lent itself well to that format lent itself well to this particular book? I'm very curious to know opinions on that because I'm definitely normally really enjoying books told in letters, but I did not think that it worked well for this one. And this is my thought as well. Letters did not seem to portray Anne well. I'm with you on that, Froxus. Lindy was okay with it. Lindy, did you listen to the audiobook? Because I know you're often an audiobook person. And I'm curious to know if that was any better or not. Sarah, it worked well enough for me, but isn't my favorite of the Anne books. Yeah, follow-up question. This was number 4 that we've read so far. Where does this rank for you guys? 1, 2, 3, 4? Is it the best of the 4 so far? I definitely think it's the last one for me so far. Lindy listened to it partly on audiobook. Okay. That's what I'm curious about because I know that I got a comment on my April reading wrap up that I think Lindsay said she liked it, but I also think she listened to it on audio. At times the letters didn't feel like letters. Yeah, they very much didn't. And then like pages are missing. Why? I didn't understand the purpose of that personally. It more felt like Anne was trying to relay everything. And I think after reading Emma M. Lyon, where she does kind of the same thing, I feel like it's done better. It's done better in that one. Hello, welcome here. Number 3 is your favorite. I'm trying to remember, what was number 3? Anne of the Island? Yes. Oh, you would think it's been longer since I read them. Anne of the Island is your favorite. That's interesting. Sarah says this one is the least favorite. Definitely where I'm at. Yeah, so we've got Aunt Kate and Aunt Chatty and Rebecca Dew being our like main characters besides Anne in this book. I never could remember the difference between Aunt Kate and Aunt Chatty. There was no like way to really differentiate between them for me. Froxus is wondering if it's a different book due to it, if it is different due to it is a later written book. Sorry, guys, I'm not feeling great today, and I apparently can't read. Yes, that is a question that I was also wondering about. This one was published 1936, so there's a huge gap. I don't remember the exact year of the first few books, but there's quite a gap there. And I also think that Maud was tired of Anne, unfortunately, which I can understand. But as someone that likes Anne, the original Anne, it's a little sad. Oh yeah, okay. So sorry, Aunt Kate and Aunt Chatty never could tell the two apart personally. I did think it was pretty funny though that all three of those ladies that Anne goes to live with were using the whole buttermilk on the face thing. Like that is three of my tabs. Is each of them saying, "Oh, don't tell so and so that I put buttermilk on my face at night." I'm trying to find the first one here. Started on page 26 in my book. So first of all, it was Aunt Chatty swore her to secrecy because she didn't want Aunt Kate to know about it. And then on page 65, it was she found Aunt Kate buttermilking her face in the pantry and asked her not to tell Aunt Chatty. She would think it was silly. And then I think it was 101 in my edition. No, 100 and something. Somewhere over here, then it was Rebecca Dew that said, "Don't tell the ladies because they would think I was silly to be putting buttermilk on my face." Oh, page 98, that's what it was. Rebecca Dew uses it. She's bound me over to keep it secret from the widows because they would think it too frivolous for her age. That cracked me up. This buttermilk on the face. I don't know if it works. I've never buttermilked my face. Maybe it does. Froxus is always doing the research here. Green Gables was published in 1908, Avonlea 09, 1908, 1909. Island is 1915. Then this one was 36, and then Dreams is 1917. I don't know if I realized that my first time through that this book like didn't exist. So we would go straight from Anne of the Island to Anne's House of Dreams. Yeah, there's quite a gap there. It's interesting. So that also means that Anne's House of Dreams probably doesn't reference any of the characters in here, which you wouldn't miss any of these characters. Interesting. Okay. Thanks for looking that up, Froxus. Sarah loved the ants and Rebecca Dew. Lindy didn't either the first time. How many times have you read it, Lindy? I know I asked last time how many times through people have read the series. I don't remember. Okay, let's see here. What do I want to ask next? Okay, I want to jump to my favorite character of the book, and then we can talk about some of the other characters. So my favorite character was definitely Catherine, oh, forgetting her last name, Brooks, I think was her last name. I remembered on the reread that Anne was going to be able to knock down her barriers, figure out why she was so off putting and just kind of, never wanting to let anyone in. But I didn't remember how it happened. And this time I just loved the 2-ish week period where Anne has Catherine out to Green Gables for Christmas. And Catherine, she starts out by saying, "Oh, you just wouldn't understand. You're like the kind of person that gets things handed to you. Everyone loves you." And Anne gets a chance to share her story. And Anne is quite Pollyanna-esque. She had a rough life, but she really looks on the bright side. She sees so much beauty in so many everyday occurrences, even the way she names things, the Lake of Shining Waters. Most people wouldn't think to give such names. That one was originally Barry's Pond, right? Terrible name, but I get it because it's like Barry lived there, so that's Barry's Pond. But it made me think about how often I and others can easily judge people quite quickly without even knowing their story. We, I for sure, just make assumptions about people. And I don't like that I do that for sure. I really like to hear people's stories. I do think that people generally have interesting stories, but it can be easy to make snap judgments and things based on an initial meeting or, if a person doesn't open up, like obviously Anne's not going to really be talking about her time as an orphan and her history while she's teaching. So I appreciated that she took the time to explain to Catherine and how that really changed Catherine. She realized she didn't need to be that person forever that's wallowing in her self pity. I tapped so many things once we got to that section. Let's see what I all have here. Okay, this when she was Anne was kind of reproaching her. "I am sorry for you, because you've shut out life, and now life is shutting you out. Stop it, Catherine. Open your doors to life, and the life will come in." I thought that was really good. That was before they actually got to Green Gables. And then they get there. Oh yeah, because this is when Catherine's saying, "You can't understand. Things have always been made easy for you. You you seem to live in a little enchanted circle of beauty and romance. I wonder what delightful discovery I'll make today. That seems to be your attitude in life." So this is before she understands Anne's history. And I was just thinking how I want that to be my attitude in life. I wonder what delightful discovery I'll make today. I need to write that one down. So, do you guys have any thoughts with her time with Catherine here? Another thing that Catherine says to her is, "You always seem to have some secret delight, as if every day of life was an adventure." I thought that was good too. I just loved the character growth during this Christmas. For the first time, it came home to Catherine that life might be beautiful, even for her. Oh, and then Anne bought her a puppy. Oh, that was so sweet. Catherine had often wondered bitterly just what it would be like to be happy, and now she found out. She bloomed out in the most astonishing way. That was the Christmas. Anne's ability to see okay, wow, okay. Yeah, I can't read tonight. Anne's ability to see beauty in the people and places around her is my favorite attribute of hers. It really helped Catherine so much. Yes, yes. And this, I think, was this is her second year teaching. So the first year she didn't make any headway with Catherine. Just trying to verify what I'm. But yeah, it says the second year right there. The first year she made no headway. Halfway through the second year, she was able to break through. I was happy with Catherine's transformation and inspired her to follow her own dreams. Yeah, I love that she was able to get her out of teaching where she was obviously not happy and not making life easy for her students and her fellow teachers. Oh, thanks for making it, Tammy. Glad you can make it. And helped Catherine discover who she could truly be. Yes, that was really good. The friendship between Catherine and Anne is one of your favorites. Got teary-eyed when Catherine cried seeing Green Gables at Christmas. Yes. That was, to me, that was the best part of the book. And obviously the grumpy Catherine leading up to it was necessary, but this was, I'm trying to see here, approximately about like 20 pages of the book is that part. And that was my favorite part of the whole book. Did you guys have any other favorite characters in here, whether it was Aunt Chatty, Aunt Kate, Rebecca Dew? We've got little Elizabeth, who goes by so many different names depending on the day. Who else did we have in here? Oh, there was the whole family, the Pringles, that were very much against Anne. But then she found that journal where the old Pringle guy ate another guy, and that shut the Pringles up because they were worried that Anne was going to talk about how their family had a cannibal in the family line there. Where was it? They were eating. Of course, I can't find that spot now. Can't remember what the guy's name was, but they ate him after he died. I thought I had underlined it somewhere. Oh, yeah, this is a good one. The lady that lived with her mom and she would never leave her out of guilt. Yeah. What a loving daughter in many ways. And then in some ways, I just wish I wish the mother wouldn't have been so harsh. But I'm glad that she got to go to that wedding or renewal of vows. I was telling my family two of the stories in here. And the one was when Anne went for supper at, whose house was it? Cyrus Taylor is the father, and he was in a bad mood. And then, oh, where was it? Anne said something about perhaps you would be surprised to hear, Dr. Carter, that Mr. Taylor went deaf very suddenly last week. And then they're all saying things about this guy who's just kind of throwing a temper tantrum. The part that got me was when his wife was talking about his crocheting. And he can crochet so beautifully. He made the loveliest centerpiece for the parlor table last winter when he was laid up. And he's like, I don't crochet, woman. Is one contemptible doily going to blast a man's reputation forever? I admit I deserved all I got, except that crack of yours about crocheting. That one killed me. Yeah, Anne didn't. She knew he wasn't deaf, but I don't know why she said it. I think she was fed up and she didn't know what to say. There was a lot of good side characters, yeah. Yeah, Cyrus was funny. The other funny story that I was telling my family, this one, and then the one where the father actually wanted the girl to marry the guy, and they were going to elope, but the girl was chickening out, so Anne forced her to do it to get married. And then she has to break the news to the dad the next day, and he's like, about time. He had been kind of playing hard, not hard to get, obviously the guy wasn't trying to get him, but trying to make his daughter hard to get so that the guy would continue with the interest. Oh yeah, exactly. That's the one I was talking about here. Yeah, like, does this stuff happen in real life? I don't know, but man, it makes for a funny book. Reverse psychology, yeah, just on a greater level than how I do it with my little kids. We just play the, oh, don't smile. I don't want you to smile, and then they smile. This is a little bit. This is up a level. This is, oh, don't date that guy. Don't date that guy. Really, he wanted her to date that guy and didn't want him to lose interest. Funny. I don't have any people in my life that I'm aware of that have had such entertaining engagement stories or marriage stories as as some of these. I'm trying to see if there was any. Oh, then there was the kids that Anne babysat for the one day, and they were just terrible. Geraldine and Gerald. That's kind of an unfortunate twin name. I'm assuming were they twins? At least they were siblings. Oh yeah, I forgot about this one. The character who wanted to get married and had a very Anne and Gilbert story. Anne left the candle in the window. That got them engaged. Yes. Yeah, I forgot about that one too. Lots of little stories like that. Okay, yeah, it was twins. Dealing with twins once again. All the bane of her existence. Tommy and Timmy from Arthur. You know, I know of twins whose names are Nathaniel and Nathan, and they both go by Nate. So, yeah, it exists. Any other fun side characters that I'm forgetting? There's Dusty Miller, who is a cat. The part where the ants give him away to this lady because Rebecca Dew is just, fed up. And then Rebecca Dew is like, no, I trained that cat. We need to have him. And then they had like this, they exchanged this look. And Anne was like, wait a minute, was this just a ploy for Rebecca Dew to admit that she liked the cat? That one was funny. Some of Anne's meddling got her into trouble, though, like with Hazel. Oh no, who was Hazel? I totally remember the name. Can someone remind me who? There's so many characters. Oh, the couple she was trying to help break up. Right. Well, they both said they didn't want to be together. I'm not sure. Yeah, they were a little bit immature. They both didn't want to be together, and then they both did. That's right. Thank you. This is a really good idea, Froxus. A cast of characters at the start. Just say like one line about each of the characters. That would be so good. Yes, that's right, Lindy. And then they got all mad at her. And um, I can't remember what the guy's name was, but he kind of fell head over heels in love with Anne. And then, yeah, Hazel was all mad. Like Anne had, yeah, tried to do that. Yes, Terry, thank you. Had a low key crush on Anne. And then he ran back to Hazel. And then it was like, oh no, it was never Anne. It was always you. That's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So many like little characters that are in there for 5 pages or something. Yes. Okay, this is what I just flipped through and I saw this. The lady that invited Anne over because her house was cursed. And obviously, this old lady thought that Anne was going to write a book about Summerside. I keep forgetting what the actual town was because it's not really talked about that much. And then this lady is like showing her all the places in the house that have been cursed. And then, okay, wait a second. Let's see here. I think I had 2 spots. First of all, Anne first gets there. Won't you sit down to remove your rubbers, my dear? This is a very comfortable chair. My sister died in it from a stroke. Okay. Yeah, not gonna sit there. And then Anne has to stay for the night. And the lady points to an ample flannel garment hanging over a chair and smelling strongly of mothballs. I hope it will fit you. It hasn't been worn since it hasn't been worn since poor mother died in it. No, thank you. I think I'm gonna just sleep in the clothes I'm wearing. Don't think I'm going to wear this ample flannel garment that your mother died in. No, no. Anne can't get a word in with the lady. Yeah, she had lots of stories to tell about her house. Because writers only write about death. Well, I mean, is it book 1 or book 2 when they've got the story society, Anne and her friends, they always killed off all the characters. Yeah, definitely. I would have been like, is this house cursed or have you killed everybody? And are you killing me next? Definitely creepy lady. Okay, Froxus thinks she's lonely. I think creepy. We can agree to disagree. Yeah, no, I'm sure she's lonely. But woof, that's I would have the shivers hanging out in her house. Yeah, the last part of the book, the last 100+ pages, 120 pages, the only parts I tabbed were the creepy lady. I read the mothballed nightgown line to my husband and his eyes bugged. Yeah, bugged out. Yeah, for sure. Mhm. Can you imagine saying that to someone? Like, I would love to say a line like that to someone just to see their reaction. Creepy and lonely are not mutually exclusive. This is true. This is true. I wish we could have had an excerpt of Gilbert's letters, or at least have her bring up something about what he was doing besides school. Totally true. I think, was Gilbert in the last book very much? Like, I think we're done with Gilbert. He barely comes up anymore, and that is one of my biggest disappointments of the end of the series. And I mean, Anne kind of in like shortly will kind of step out of the picture too. She's there, but she's not. And I definitely miss them once they're gone. As soon as they're married, he is always just working. He's never around, which is too bad because I really enjoy their friendship. Oh, that's disappointing, Tammy. I think going into this, I thought it would be correspondence between them. I think that would have been better. Yeah. I think Gilbert could have written some funny and serious lines from school about what he was doing and learning about and made it better for sure. Yeah. I I think someone should write a like fan fiction rewrite of this and insert some Gilbert letters. Oh, this is your first time reading it all the way through. Yeah. Unfortunately, I think Gilbert is kind of done from what I remember. He's there, but he's not there, which is too bad. But we do get some funny side characters throughout, which is good. Ella Montgomery does a really good job with random little side characters doing funny things. I do like that about her writing. Oh, your first time reading it too. Montgomery hardly ever wrote a male main character. The one you read wasn't good. Which male main character did she write? What book? I can't even. I don't know. Oh, Kilmeny of the Orchard, right? Is it that one? Because that was, yeah, that one's written by the dude. I don't even know what his name is. Welcome here, Tabitha. Late is okay. Fashionably late. Yeah. Yeah, right. That's the one. Yeah, he didn't. The main character in there wasn't written very well. I splashed water all over my glasses and my face. Very professional here. Okay. Any other thoughts on the book? I think we've gone over all that I wanted to say. Did I remember? I think we went over a lot of the side characters that kind of pop up a little bit. Next is Anne's House of Dreams. So this is Anne and Gilbert. I'm trying to remember. Do they get married in this one, or are they already married and they go set up house? I don't remember how it starts, but we get to meet some fun characters in this next one and some kindred spirits, as they say. They get married. Okay. I didn't remember what happens. Lindy's always, she knows what's going on. I had a scene which was sad, but to say would spoil part of Rilla. I'm trying to like remember what, I don't know what scene you're talking about, but we don't want to spoil Rilla yet. But you should message me, Ashley, because I don't know what you're talking about. Looking forward to Anne's House of Dreams. Okay, so they marry in the book. Sounds good. I'll grab my copy here. Okay, yes, he's a doctor. They're ready to say their vows. And then they will be bound for new life together in their house of dreams on the shores of Four Winds Harbor, near Gilbert's new medical practice in the village of Glen St. Mary. Last time I read this, I put one book tab in, very tiny right there. Oh, no, there's another one that was falling. Two tabs? So that doesn't bode well for this book, that's for sure. Oh, currently reading Anne's House of Dreams and Charlotte the Fourth just appeared. See, I love when previous characters show up. It's Charlotta, right? Charlotta the Fourth. That's fun. We'll get to meet Captain Jim and Miss Cornelia. Oh, I forgot about Leslie Moore. Okay. Yeah, there's some Owen Ford. There's some fun things coming up, but not a lot of Gilbert. And talked about teaching about wars. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yes. I know, that weirded me out. World War Okay, see, the thing is, Anne of Windy Poplars was published in 1936. So she inserted this one way after her other ones. So, yeah, right. I do remember that. I agree with an earlier comment saying it would have been nice to have some of Gilbert's perspective in letters. It wasn't your favorite of the series so far. Yeah, mine neither. I just got a full box set of the 8 Anne books in the special oh man, I really can't read today. Special collector's editions from Etsy. Which ones were the special collector's editions? What do they look like? I'm very curious. I need a link. Yeah, it would have been the lead up to World War II, 1936. I don't know, like, what that would have looked like in Canada in 1936. If it would have seen any, would have noticed the lead up. They're not that special. Well, I'm curious. I want to see what they look like. The funny thing is, often when you see like the Anne books in a box set, they're often only 5 of the books, not all 8, which I don't understand. Why would they only put 5 books? Oh, good question, Tammy. Do you feel like your reading experience of the series has changed since the last read through? Are you rating lower, higher, or about the same? Give me a second. I'm not actually changing my ratings on Goodreads. I'm going to pull it up here and see what I had written and see if I agree with them. Oh, it's also hard because I only had Goodreads my last read through, and so there's no half stars or quarter stars. So I I almost should go back and look at my reading wrap-ups from the time that I read it through previously. I feel like maybe I'm enjoying it a little less, but I'm not sure if only the books that I enjoy and the parts that I enjoy stuck with me, if that makes sense. I'm very curious as we get to the end because I only rated and let's see here. Okay, I gave Rilla 4 stars, but I probably, when I read it, probably it was like 3.5. And then as the book has sat with me, now I think of it as a 5-star book. So I'm very curious to reread that one and see, is it actually a 5-star book? Is it a 3.5-star book? And then it's just one that sits with you because some of those characters. Anne says she feels that there will be more future wars. Yeah. Okay, I got a Kindle and Audible bundle of the series. They don't include Windy Poplars and Anne of Ingleside, but did include Chronicles and Further Chronicles of Avonlea. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Now I'm like curious. Okay. Ebook bundle, and it didn't have Windy Poplars either. So, okay, I'm just gonna like look on here. Anne of Green Gables book set. Sometimes they have only 5 books, and then I'm curious which ones they are. So definitely the ones with 8 books are the way to go. This one is Anne of Green Gables, Anne of Avonlea, Anne of the Island, Anne's House of Dreams. That's only 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. And it skipped Windy Poplars. Then there's a 6-book set that is Anne of Green Gables, Anne of Avonlea, Anne of the Island, Anne's House of Dreams, Rainbow Valley, Rilla of Ingleside. So that skips Windy Poplars. 5, 6, that's 6 books, but which other one? Rilla. I don't know why they're so different. Windy Poplars and Ingleside are the later books. So Anne of Ingleside was published in 1939 and Windy Poplars 1936. So she went 1908, 1909, 1915 for Anne of the Island. Then she went 1917 for Anne's House of Dreams, 1919 for Rainbow Valley, 1921 for Rilla, and then a huge gap, like a 15-year gap before she went back and she did Windy Poplars, and then another 3-year gap before Ingleside. That's interesting. Yeah, right. Copyright. Thanks, Roxas. That makes sense. Oh, and they might have been published by different publishers too. Yeah. Interesting. I know she had some like publisher issues. That does make sense. I didn't think about the dates and stuff. Got a 12-book bundle. You probably, I would guess maybe they're the ones that are in the public domain of hers, maybe? Yeah, interesting. I definitely read that she was sick of writing Anne. So it's interesting that she continued writing Anne books, inserted some. It definitely feel like her heart wasn't in it for this one. Anne feels different, but it's also a different format. So I'm excited to go Anne's House of Dreams, be back to her like initial publishing time, and then go from there. Well, thanks everyone for joining me and going on this rabbit trail, figuring out when all these books were published. I am going to probably start Anne's House of Dreams pretty soon. I'm not going to leave it last minute like I have been doing. Probably. We'll see. Maybe I will. I seem to think I heard she was asked to go back and fill in some like gap years. Oh, that would make sense. Oh, Doyle and Baum tried to kill off their series authors. Yeah, I mean, you can't blame an author for getting sick of a character, and can't push them to keep writing. Do I have a tentative date for the live? Let's see. Let me bring up my calendar. It will probably be beginning of June because my end of May is very busy. So probably, I'm trying to see here, my calendar, probably the 2nd or the 3rd of June. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Frank L. Baum, right? It will probably be the 2nd or 3rd of June, same time, 6 p.m. my time. But I will try to schedule it early enough so people have a heads up. Yes, I'm looking forward to chatting about this one. There's some good characters in there. So you guys all have a good rest of your evening. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for sticking with the series. 4 books done. one more Anne before we take a break for summer. So we can do it. I hope you guys all have a great rest of your evening.